Hello everyone, it's Angie here at Beads and Plenty More. Today I thought I'd show you how to do a multi-strand necklace. So I've got 3 strands here. This is done with size 10 seed beads. I've got a 2mm, these are actually hematite beads, but they're electroplated hematite. And then I've got some glass beads that came from a mix that we have. So they vary in size and everything. But when I went to thread the 3 strands up, all I did was I laid the first strand out, and each individual spot has 15 seed beads in between with a gold bead on either side of my special one. And then the second strand, when I went to lay it out, I started off with more than 15 at the start here so that my beads would stagger a little bit. And the third strand, of course, I adjusted the start again, and then it's 15 beads between each one. So I've started putting the one end on, but I'm going to show you how to do the other end here. So I'm just going to grab one of the strands out. Not undoing the rest of them in the meantime. So I'm threading this on the 0.012 inch tiger wire. This is a fairly fine tiger wire. You could use the 0.015 inch tiger wire as well. They would both work for this project. And I've got 22 gauge wire to do my end. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the smallest loop we can, because my bead cap that I'm putting on this end is not very big. So I need to create really tiny loop. So I'm using my round nose pliers, bringing it around to create the loop. And then we're just going to put a little wrap in it just to hold it. Now this hides inside your bead cap, so it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be tiny. So once I've got that, I can start crimping my ends off. So I'm going to take, and I've got this tangled a little bit. I'm going to take my end, make absolutely certain there's no gaps in the beadwork here. And then I'm going to thread a crimp bead on. So these are 2mm crimps. Go through my loop and back down through my crimp. So I'm going through the crimp bead, and I'm also going through some of my seed beads. It makes it easier to do it all in one step. So get everything pulled nice and tight. Leave a little bit of space so that you can still move your end around. And then I'm just going to crimp that one tight. Moving on to the next one here. Now I'm only using 1 crimp bead in here because my bead cap is so tiny. Normally you would use 2 crimp beads on each end. So I'll just get, again, I'm just going to double check to make sure everything's threaded tight. Just follow it through. Yeah, we're good. And on this particular case, I do want them to kind of jumble together, so I'm not too worried about separating my strands out or worried that they're gonna tangle. So again, we'll get it through some of the beads. Pull all of the wire into the top loop so there's no gaps in my beadwork, and then I can just pull my tail end. So no gaps there. right, so now we've got all our ends crimped here. What I can do is thread my end on here. And I'm actually going to put a bead on as well, just for decoration purposes. So now we're going to do a wrapped loop. So first step, I'm going to grab with my pliers and fold it over. So that's the place where the wraps are going to end up. And I'm going to take it, and this is the barrel that I want to wrap around, and so I kind of want to place that where I want my wrap to end up. So come completely around that barrel. Now I'm just going to hook a little lobster clasp on this one. And then I like to hold with my needle nose pliers because you don't put a mark on the wire when you do that. Sometimes when you're holding with your round nose pliers, you can end up putting a mark on the wire. So there we go. Got the wraps on. And just grab that. And sometimes if you need to tuck an end in, what you want to do is just kind of massage around it. So I'm grabbing it and just kind of working my way around. Now, if it's really being stubborn, grab it with a second pair of pliers on the loop, which will keep it from running away from you as you're trying to come around and get that end tucked in. So that's one side done. Put our bead cap on the other side. And again, I'm going to put a little bead here as well. Fold it. Come around this one. Now on this side, I didn't bother to grab a little extender chain or anything. I figured this loop would be nice enough to hook my clasp into. So nice round loop. And I'm just gonna wrap it to match the other side. So then these will hook together. And that's a basic little 3-strand necklace. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.